Hello, this is the first podcast of Pints and Pages. This is my name's Nick with Savini Comics. On my left, I have Brad. On my right, I have Levi. We are going to talk about pulp culture fun, things that are going on in our lives, things that are happening. Here recently, we've had an event at Savini Comics, and Levi is going to take the lead. He was not here for the event, so he's going to ask Brad and I some questions, and hopefully you enjoy the podcast. All right, go ahead and go, Levi.
Well, just as a starters, I want to know from both sides. You ran it and you were just attending it. As running it, how do you think it went? Just overall, if you were to give it,
out of 10, it was probably a solid 9. The only reason I wouldn't give it a 10 is because it went a little long. I underestimated the time that I thought the WWE could hold a pay-per-view, and they went ahead and went really long, almost 4 hours. So we had, other than that, though, the event went fantastic. Everybody had a really good time. I've heard nothing but positive things. Pictures turned out really well. Jason McKeever Photography took all the pictures. Things went smooth.
I was gonna say, I saw the photos setup you had, and that was really nice.
Pretty good turnout, and I thought it went really well. Al Snow was fantastic. Told stories, had different things to say. He brought his tag team partner, Cal Hero, from the newest Rockers. They're the new tag team, and from OVW. And it went really well.
Thing you posted on Facebook, I saw you tagged.
We're trying to promote Thursday night, they had the big one. It was a 5-on-5 tables, ladders, and chairs match. I watched it. It's I'll give him a free plug since he showed up at the store last week, but you can get it on the Fight TV app. OVW episodes are free. So watched it Thursday night here in the store. It was good. It was good. It's regional wrestling. What do you expect from it? But
I was gonna say, it's not a big
fun.
Wrestling watcher. I'd probably still get pretty good enjoyment out of that.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. The event, like I said, the event went great. So
now, how did you enjoy being here and attending it? How was the lines of waiting for things, getting to watch the event with him, hearing him talk, and all of that stuff?
I guess from a fan aspect, the lines, Nick kept it pretty smooth. It was pretty easygoing. It was very intimate, a small amount of people. Still pretty busy for our little town, but you actually got to interact. It kind of brought people together that wouldn't normally be out and about. There's not, a common place for wrestling fans to kind of meet up and do something like this. So it was good to see people you wouldn't normally interact with. A fresh celebrity face in a small town's always good. And on top of that, he was, he kind of respected everybody. You know what I mean? Like, he would listen to you and talk, but he also knew how to kind of just keep the crowd going. Like, he didn't linger with nobody. He didn't he didn't leave anybody feeling left out. He didn't overshadow the SummerSlam pay-per-view itself. He had very great points while we were watching. And I don't know, it was interesting to see a professional's take on the modern rendition of what wrestling is right now. And how things have changed from when he was at the height of his career to kind of what the new guys are doing. It was just a generally good time. I don't know.
The fans, the people that showed up, just seemed to enjoy the fact that they were with other wrestling fans.
Yes, exactly.
They loved being in a group. A lot of these people probably not because anything's wrong with them, but they're probably just like me. they sit at home by themselves and watch wrestling.
Yeah.
And because they got nobody else to watch it with. So this, unbeknownst to me, I put a bunch of people that do that in a room together, and they all loved it. They all interacted. They all talked. They were betting. They were betting on who would win.
Yeah,
that's
dollar,
hilarious.
dollar match here.
Yeah.
Dollar matches.
Yeah.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
That's quite hilarious. What did you think of the pay-per-view itself? I obviously didn't watch it. I was busy that night, but
It was long.
Yeah. Good points, bad points.
Yeah, it was long. The women's match was way too long.
I've never found enjoyment in the women's matches. Just they're not entertaining to me.
Logan Paul and Ricochet was, and from if I would have been watching it at home without Al Snow, I'd have a completely different take on it.
Okay, I'm intrigued. I want to hear about that.
So the Logan, if I was by myself watching the Logan Paul Ricochet match, I would have gotten enjoyment out of spot after spot after spot. It was big thing after big thing after big thing after big thing, and fun to watch. And it was fun to watch even with Al Snow, but Al Snow's breaking it down to where you're like, he's like, why do you even care about this match? Like you got two horses in a race and one gets in the front and the other one is lagging behind, but then all of a sudden out of nowhere, the other one catches up and goes ahead. And then he's like, and then the other horse catches up and goes ahead. So there's no build up for the face, the good guy, who's fighting the heel. There's no build up.
Now, just from my knowledge, who's face and who's heel there?
So Ricochet's the good guy, the face, and Logan Paul was the heel, the bad guy.
Which I'd figure out ahead, just because I know how his personality is online and stuff like that.
So
his brother.
That's a whole nother story. I don't know if you saw what he tweeted at Conor McGregor, but it was some.
Yeah.
They both went at it hellaciously.
So they Logan Paul's a natural heel. He's a natural bad guy. He does that role very well.
Yeah.
And heat in wrestling terms is basically he's gonna get people to react to him negatively. Negatively, it's heat.
And not to interrupt too much again, but as someone who doesn't watch wrestling very much, I've only ever seen the clip of him from, I think it was WrestleMania, where they speared each other from.
That was Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble, okay.
Yeah, that was Royal Rumble. And Logan Paul knows what he's doing in the ring, and he seems to be safe.
He's very athletic and very good at what he does from the clips and the stuff I've seen.
And they had a good spot fest match, but like there was no, like the way Al explained it was really Logan should have beaten Ricochet down, and then Ricochet should have slowly gained momentum,
pulled himself up from the bootstraps,
and got himself even with Logan Paul, and then overtook. It was just like Logan Paul's beating him to death, and then all of a sudden, none of that mattered, and Ricochet's back up, and he's beating the hell out of Logan Paul.
Yeah,
and just kept going.
And so Al's like, what gets you invested into the match other than the high spots?
There's no weight of consequence.
Yeah,
there's no consequence for the extra move you do that might damage yourself a little bit while you're trying to hurt your opponent.
Right.
There's no damage from your opponent. It's like it's all just being reversed.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. There were great gimmicks for both sides of that fight, but the pace of there was just no pace. Almost all of SummerSlam, there's almost no pace.
Yeah. And then the bad part was Logan Paul cheated to win. They gave him brass knuckles and he punched him and knocked him out and he pinned him, and now Logan Paul's going to go away.
So that was actually when I was interrupting part of my thing. How much is Logan actually doing in the depth? I'm not trying to talk shit or anything, but it just seems like I keep seeing him pop up here, go away, pop up there, go away.
So
but I'm also not an avid watcher.
He's an attraction. It's like when the Carney brings in the bearded lady.
Is it kind of like Is it kind of how like Brock Lesnar was, where you'd see him come in for a fight or a big pay-per-view, maybe do a couple other Monday Night Raws or stuff like that, and then go away for a little?
Yeah, it's even worse than that. Because he really only comes in for the big pay-per-views. Logan does. He did Royal Rumble, he did WrestleMania.
He's like a pop-up bar. He's good for a couple weekends, but everybody's had enough shit for a minute.
Yeah.
So they close for business until they rebrand.
Yeah. So, and now I hear he's going to do a boxing match. So he's going to go.
Is that his brother? Or is that?
No, he's going to do.
He's talking about which he's done boxing before. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, he's going to do some sort of boxing match. So I guess he's going to go away. And that match was, like I said, it was okay. I would have rather not seen, if Logan Paul was going to go away, I think Ricochet should have went over one.
That would make sense.
I mean, but because Ricochet has got to live with that. But every match that Logan Paul's been in ever, he's lost.
He's lost.
So I think they wanted to give him a win, and they let him cheat to win. It kind of saves Ricochet's cred because he cheated to win.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for his character, it gives him the credibility that he had to cheat to win. The only thing that, like, I think you kind of touched on that makes it a little irritating to me is the fact that since Logan Paul goes away, now Ricochet doesn't get a chance to get revenge,
redeem
himself at that.
And that's what my problem is with it. If he's gonna go away, it's just like the Brock Cody match. I thought was good.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite.
Yeah, I thought the Brock and Cody goes over, and it was their rubber match, so they'd each won. Cody goes over. Brock seems to be going away.
I've heard rumors that was off the cuff, kind of like spur of the moment.
I did too.
Like that wasn't what Brock was supposed to say or do.
Yeah,
but I think he did it out of true wrestling nature.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Yeah, he took his gloves off after the match and walked up to Cody, shook his hand, and raised his hand in the middle of the ring, which they have said.
It was a total different body language.
Yeah, I've read that was not scripted. Brock did that on his own to basically christen Cody Rhodes. Basically saying, hey, this guy's the shit, and you should all pay attention.
So, I like that. That's kind of cool.
Kind of bright.
Yeah,
should have had a little sooner. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The match was good. It was good paced. I thought it was good paced. It didn't last as long as some of the other ones. Holy crying out loud!
Well, that's it. That's why it was good.
Yeah,
because it ended when we needed it to, and it ended the way we all wanted it to.
Yeah,
and it was like that's kind of a part of it. We don't want it to go completely a fucking riot. A good shakeup's nice every now and then, but you can't long-wind it and then act like it's good.
Shayna and Ronda were on the card in an MMA fight, which Al hated. Hopefully Al doesn't listen to this and he gets mad because we're saying shit in vain. But he's he may or may not ever listen to this, but he
hell, who knows? Nobody might listen to this, Like, we might listen to it and that's it. Fuck.
He had a very good point. If you call it an MMA fight, are you saying the rest of the matches are fake and this one's real?
I mean, that was an excellent point.
I get that point completely because
he's like,
especially
MMA and wrestling are two different things. Like me and you have had the conversation before. Well, wrestling you can put in quotes as fake because they have a storyline and blah blah blah. This and that. They are real athletes putting their body on the line, and it is. I could understand that sentiment completely, especially coming from a guy in the industry.
Well, and Al said,
theater with getting punished, man.
Yeah. Well, Al said, he's like, it's everything that they are doing in the ring is real. Everything that they're doing physically, athletic ability is all real. The only thing that's not real is the beef between the two wrestlers, and it's their job to get you to believe it. And that's what wrestling is.
Yeah. I mean, the best way to describe wrestling is it's a male version of a soap opera.
Yeah.
Which I think is the best thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I love that.
And but so the Ronda Shayna match, I don't really care about.
See, why would they do a MMA fight?
Because they were both ex MMA fighters.
Yeah, it didn't look bad. Visually, it wasn't a bad fight, but there were some weird points.
To me, that just throws it the whole vibe and the whole the way it's all running. Because everyone's used to WWE wrestling, and then you throw an MMA fight, and now we gotta go back to wrestling. Well, and that to me that seems stupid.
Yeah, like something that bothered me about it was the fact that they called it an MMA fight, but the pace of the fight went more in line with how wrestling should have fucking went versus the actual match they had for other women, which was a dog and pony show of we'll just keep getting up in a 3-person rotation of who's getting up at any given time. And like at least they were hitting each other and making it look good, and the other ones were just like clowns spitting in each other's faces. The triple threat match was,
and it was on next to last, and it was just it wouldn't, if they would have cut 15 minutes off the match, it would have been fantastic. Yeah, but it was just it was too much. And then after the match, Io Sky cashed in Money in the Bank, so then you even get the match.
Yeah,
and she's got to come down, and then you got a whole thing.
I get the point of Money in the Bank, but I always hated that. The fact that it seemed like every big pay-per-view, all of a sudden, whatever not the big fight, but a big fight, now we got to add a big thing on top of that at the end.
What this was they needed to get the belt on Io Sky without because, okay, so I almost said Ahsoka.
We can make that a later topic. So
Asuka was champion going into the match, and Io Sky had Money in the Bank, and those two should have a really good, solid, competitive match. Like both of them are like Asuka's a striker and kind of flamboyant and Japanese background. Io Sky's Japanese background, but she's high flyer. So so it's kind of like it's kind of two different styles, same culture, two different styles. And I think that the setup is going to be at some point they want to have that big match, but they weren't ready for it. They just weren't ready for it yet. So they needed to find a way to get the belt off of Asuka without giving us Asuka and Io. So the way they did that was Bianca somehow in like a figure 8 rolled up Asuka into, it was one of the most ridiculous things I'd ever seen. She couldn't walk, but somehow she pinned Asuka while she was in the figure 4. And like it was almost like Asuka looked like she just fell over and she kind of just hooked her. And then Io Sky runs down, hits Bianca in the wrong leg, the one she's not limping on, knocks her down, does this moonsault and pins her. And I think at that point, Al said,
she wanted her to limp on both legs.
Yeah, at one point, I think Al said, why didn't she just shoot her with a gun? Because at this point, I think that's the only thing that's going to keep her down. And, she's been hit with 5 finishers and in a briefcase, and you still got to do a moonsault to pin her? Really? Like it was
that's kind of ridiculous.
And it was long, and everybody was tired of it by the end of it. So
it was definitely hard to keep my attention towards the end of it.
Yeah, it definitely was. So the question that I have for Brad, because I know what my answer is, what do you think about the Battle Royal? What do you think about the SummerSlam Battle Royal?
That, I have never favored those.
Is the Battle
Because-
Royal the one with the 4 pods?
No, that's Elimination Chamber. So Battle Royal is just where you throw 20 guys in a ring and you start throwing them to the top rope.
For some reason I was getting those.
Which
two
I
confused in
learned
my
something
head.
new, but I'll let Brad talk before I'll tell you.
And not to shy on to what you learned, but it kind of goes in line with it. If you watch a battle royale and you don't look at the main focus, if you just try to watch all of it or absorb any of a corner of what's not center of camera, you're going to watch the most ungraceful, god-awful fucking wrestling you've ever seen in your life. You're going to see guys hitting each other. You're going to see guys throwing punches at air. You're going to witness some crazy ass shit that just doesn't make any fucking sense at all if you just look in the corners of what's at center attention. And what's of the big dude's name that came in? I can't think of his name. Omos. So he comes in and he's a monster. He's so fucking huge, and he just demands the attention. But nobody focuses him. Nobody really pays any attention to him. And if you notice that, then you start paying attention to the guys ignoring him, and they're like slap fighting, and they're barely touching each other in the corners, and they're just, it's like, nah, battle royales are not fun anymore. It's like you just watching people go through the motions until it's their turn to accidentally fall out of the fucking ring when they're waiting their turns. Like they're legitimately waiting their turns now. Whereas before, like you watch any battle royale in the fucking late 90s, early 2000s, and like they're bleeding before they fall out of that fucking ring. You know, like they're bringing in the guys that fell out too goddamn early are throwing weapons and they're throwing chairs and they're giving you shit to knock the other fucking guys out. They're helping out their buddies. But it's like, no, as soon as they're gone, they walk out like nothing's happened. Like they're walking to the fucking concession stand to get a goddamn corn dog. Or, you know, like, yeah. There were some good tussles when they would get the attention on certain people, and like there was some fun here and there, but ultimately it's like I don't know. I've watched kids wrestle better.
That's saying something.
I prefer Royal Rumble because it's 2 minutes in between each wrestler,
so it gives time.
I don't like the battle royals where 20 of them start all.
Yeah, they're all like,
yeah.
It's like
to me, it just doesn't seem like there'd be enough room for that.
There's really not.
I was gonna say I've never watched a battle royal,
and you know, there's really not. And what I didn't know, and I guess I should have because I've been watching this for 40 years. What I didn't know is Al. You know, Al said they know when they're getting thrown out, in what order, and who's throwing them out. Like before they even go out there, they know when they're and for Royal Rumble, you know when you're going out. But for Battle Royal, you know when you see the guy before you get thrown out,
make your way.
You need to go find the guy that's supposed to throw you out, so that he can throw you out next. And I guess I didn't realize that. I thought maybe it was just a free for all until you got down to maybe the last like 5 or 6 guys.
I figured it'd have been a free for all. Besides,
it was scripted down to the last, the last 5 guys, 4 or 5 guys you got.
I figured they had a set number, but like you and you are gonna be the last couple in there.
Yeah.
Everybody else just do whatever you fucking please.
Yeah. I kind of thought it was that way, but he's like, no, there is an order that you're supposed to stick to. Now, I did like how WWE let LA Knight go over as the winner. I like LA Knight. He's kind of a throwback. People say he kind of is the same thing, and I get it, but like, everybody is, Hulk Hogan was superstar Billy Graham.
I don't think I have enough of his story to be attached.
So LA Knight started as Eli Drake back in Impact. He was actually in the WWE before in developmental, got fired. I don't know what for. Maybe he got let go in cuts. He went to Impact, won the world title. He's back in WWE. He's 40. So this is he's probably getting to the end of where he needs to have one. He's going to have one maybe good run in him. But what he does is he stuck to a gimmick for the last 6 months, saying the same catchphrases and the same things until everybody just started doing them. Like he comes out, starts the same sentence every single time. Let me talk to you. And then all of a sudden everybody, and then like after he finishes something, he goes, yeah. So, and then everybody just starts saying it.
Is that where that came from?
Yeah.
Is that where Lil Jon got it?
He's like coming out to the ring, and when he's talking on the microphone, he points. It's right, center, left, and he says, because everybody's saying L.A. Knight, and now the crowd does it with him because he stuck to it. He stuck to his guns. Yeah, he was Hulkamania, man. He stuck to his guns. He's like, this is what I'm going to do. This is my gimmick. This is how I'm going to do it. And I'm going to get it over. And everybody, he was a bad guy for months with no crowd reaction. Nobody knew who he was. And he just kept doing it every week. He was on SmackDown. He did the same shit.
Repetition, man.
And then
that's key.
Then one time he just comes out. Everybody catches it, and they're just like, they start saying it with him, and then everybody's holding up signs, and it's not anything like the Stone Cold speech where Austin 3:16 says, "I just whooped your ass."
Yeah.
But
or it doesn't matter what your name is.
but he's just kind of a throwback though, because he's got those catchphrases and he's got those things and he's got those mannerisms like Stone Cold.
Well, if you ain't got a visual calling card, then you have to have a phonetic one.
Right.
Like if you ain't got something about you that's just visually demanding of an icon, then you better have something that sounds like one.
Yeah, and he does. He's got it. He's just doing it. So the other match, were there any other matches? There was Roman and Jay. Which was the main event.
So I have to ask, as somebody who hasn't watched since I was probably in late middle school, early high school, and Roman Reigns at that time was my favorite wrestler because Shawn Michaels had been gone.
What time were you in middle school?
Oh, let's see. My last year would have been 2013.
It's
not that far behind.
These are the poppins of our pints and pages.
Yeah. Well, I guess I shouldn't put a time on it because I don't really remember, but I do remember him coming out with the other two tard muffins.
John Moxley, which would have been Dean Ambrose.
I could tell you
the other guy who had long hair.
Seth freaking Rollins.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyway, I was there. I watched those debuts. I do remember those debuts because I was so upset. That was like early in fucking Sheamus's early era.
Where did you watch that debut?
I think it was with my uncle in his fucking they
Okay, all right, because they debuted at a Survivor Series, and during a CM Punk and Ryback match.
Yes.
And they put both of them through a table, and I was 10 rows back.
Are you kidding? That was when they came in the crowd. They came in the crowd. CM Punk was out, and they had all those like this, and they're walking through the crowds and crapping their damn vests.
Yeah,
and it was like, who are these guys?
And they attacked.
Yeah,
it wasn't CM Punk. They attacked. I was wrong. They attacked Ryback, putting him through a table. Because their original storyline was supposed to be that they were CM Punk's enforcers,
Yes.
but somehow that got abandoned.
That got abandoned really quickly, Miles. But what I was going to
me
ask,
and Uncle Zach were there.
wasn't it?
We were at
Lily and
I
Nate?
probably stared at your face as they were walking around.
Was that the one you guys went with Lily and Nate and took them to? Or is that
Might
a
have
different
been.
one?
Might have been.
But okay, but anyways, my question is
I guarantee
From-
it was in my uncle's fucking ass.
from remembering how he was back then, and then I remember he started getting hate when I kind of quit watching.
Yeah,
Where is
got a lot
he?
of hate.
I was gonna say, where is he at now in that? Is he a heel? Is he a
So,
good guy?
He's a
Is he-
heel.
I figured.
He's a heel.
I figured
He's
that.
a bad guy.
Not in everybody's eyes, though. I don't think. I feel
Not
like there
everybody.
are some people that glorify that turd.
Hey, I like that term.
He.
I like the Superman punch. That was really what sold it for me.
He. So.
I don't know why.
So it really turned for him when he got Paul Heyman. It turned for him when he got Paul Heyman. Like the crowd got behind him, right, wrong, or indifferent, good or bad, positive or negative. He started finally getting the reaction they wanted him to get when he got Paul Heyman and kind of turned into this arrogant prick that he is now.
Yeah.
And that kind of, when he was trying to be you should love me because I'm John Cena 2.0, that didn't really go over well. So when they
He turned into what John Cena originally was, which was a prick.
well, it kind of turned into, it's almost like The Rock without any catchphrases. Without any catchphrases.
It was like, I'm a quiet rock.
Yeah, The Rock with no fun.
Now,
I'm
aren't
the
they
rock with
related?
all his tattoos.
They are. They're
Because that's what I thought.
they're
That's what I
cousins.
thought.
Yeah.
I remember
So-
that being a big thing when after the whole
Oh,
Shield
like-
thing first quit being a thing.
Yeah.
It's the Usos are related to Rikishi, right?
The
Yeah.
Usos are Rikishi's kids.
Yes.
And Solo Sikoa. They're all the three of them.
And
are
then-
That is
brothers.
not a name I know of.
Solo Sikoa is, they just brought him in. It's got the Samoan
Oh.
spike.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, they just brought him in. He's been around for maybe about a year, probably. Probably
Okay.
about a year.
He was new to
he's-
me this time around.
He's Roman's enforcer. He's bloodline enforcer, if that's what you want to call it. The bloodline really doesn't exist anymore. It's just Roman, Heyman, and Solo. Solo looks more like his dad than his brothers do. He's a bigger guy. It seems like he seems to be. If I had to pick the future of WWE, Solo's probably in the mix. He's one of those guys that can mix it up.
And like, to be honest, like, I don't know. I think Roman Reigns has always been that good fucking heel, a good bad guy. But I don't think they've thrown enough. They haven't been enough good wrestlers, hero wrestlers.
Yeah, here's my problem with
Well, heels
It's
have always
anti-faces.
been loved more than faces, in my opinion.
Here's my problem with the Roman.
Yeah.
Here's my
Yeah.
problem with the Roman situation that they have created themselves, and that is he's been champion for
Too fucking long.
1,200 days or so.
Too
No,
long.
like 11. I don't know,
Holy
1,100
shit,
days.
that's like almost 4 years.
Yeah. No, he's been champion for like
too long.
3.5 years.
At
He's been
1,100,
champion.
that's easily 3.5.
So he's been champion and forever. And the problem is there's literally pay-per-views that he didn't wrestle in. So they put it side by side, and CM Punk was champion for like 485 days.
Yeah.
And when Roman surpassed CM Punk, and they showed the
Was
two
that
of-
like a hit, like a record or something?
well,
Or
I mean,
is that just a...
yeah, that was just a milestone that he
Okay.
hit. Because I mean,
Okay.
Hogan was champ for like 8 years.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
Bruno San Martino was champ for like 12.
Oh, okay.
You know, so he's got to get to like 3,000 days before he gets to Bruno.
Yeah.
All right. Just
but so when
but
when he hit 485 with CM Punk, they showed, you know, I saw graphics on Facebook, you know, as you know, most people do. Facebook's your
yeah,
place to
Facebook,
go,
Twitter, stuff
right?
like that.
So where like in that span of 485 days, CM Punk had defended the title like 250 times or something. And
Jesus, that's like every other day.
And Roman Reigns had defended his like 75. Like, I mean, it was like,
dude,
because
people beat Punk up.
he didn't like
stop.
Roman.
Oh yeah, Punk was
like
non-stop.
like Punk was like wrestling every week on Raw. Like
That is
Roman would go like 3 months and not step into a ring and never wrestle anybody. So it's like
did a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, he went above and beyond.
But even Hogan never missed a pay-per-view. You know, wrestled in house shows, did pay-per-views.
Well, see,
but Roman
that makes no sense why they'd let that just slide.
Well, it's because they wanted to keep him healthy, and they wanted to, because they got this big long storyline that they wanted to build out.
All right, I might sound like an asshole, but blow me. If all of these guys in the past could do it, why can't you?
Right, but
they're not asking something exceptional.
And what they've ran into now at this point is, to your point, he's not really wrestled. To me, he's not wrestled anybody of constant caliber.
No,
I mean,
no. And it's like
he's wrestled like Brock like a couple of times, but Brock is in and out. He wrestled Cody Rhodes only once. He never has wrestled like.
But it's like heel to heel. It's never heel to hero. It's always heel to heel with him.
With Brock.
Like, to be honest, if you look at wrestling right now, there's not many good guys. There's not fucking many good.
Well, you know, and the funny thing is, you know, they created this world heavyweight title. That was the match we missed. Seth Rollins and then Finn Balor.
Oh, did you guys cut out for the SummerSlam?
No, I mean, we just missed talking about it.
It
was it was before the women's match that
I see what you're saying.
And I want to correct myself. Seth freaking Rollins. You know, Seth freaking Rollins.
Never really personally liked him, but as far as a wrestler goes, like
he is it, man.
He's not my cup of tea, but he's part. Yeah, like he's a good functioning member of the fucking business.
And they created this world heavyweight title and had a tournament because Roman has all the belts. And you know, and Seth brought up a good point. Here we are wrestling in this tournament. He never wrestled like. He is the only guy and he said it on national television. I'm the only top tier wrestler in this entire organization that Roman Reigns hasn't beaten in the last 3 years. And he is. He beat AJ Styles. He beat Sami Zayn. He beat Brock Lesnar. He beat Cody Rhodes. He beat AJ Styles. He beat John Cena. He beat Goldberg.
How do you beat someone you can't see?
Right. He wrestled himself. Yeah. It's that hood match that Jake Roberts and Rick Martel had WrestleMania.
Randy Orton interrupted.
Yes. But he like wrestled Seth Rollins once, and Seth Rollins I think won by either DQ or count out or something like that. So like Roman Reigns had literally in 3 years the top baby face in the entire organization, Seth Rollins, never wrestled him. Now, could you imagine you got Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior and WrestleMania 6 never happens because they want to protect Hulk Hogan so bad that they just never let the other top person wrestling.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
Just out of a numbers thought process, if like using that comparison, not saying either one is as big as Hulk Hogan or the Ultimate Warrior, but just using that kind of thought process, that comparison, that makes no sense why they wouldn't do that.
Right. It just really doesn't, and even
Unless they're saving it for some kind of
and they were in
storyline.
The worst part is that they're heel and face. So I mean, good guy, bad guy.
Which makes
Seth Rollins is so Seth Rollins has a song now where he comes out and he just stands and like almost like gets in this I'll say it, Soundgarden said it best. He gets in this Jesus Christ pose, and the crowd sings his song. There's no music. He literally stands in the middle of the ring, and it's quiet except for the crowd singing his song. And there's a video out there, probably on YouTube, where he did that at a house show for 12 minutes. The audience at Madison Square Garden, 25,000 people, sang his song while he stood in the middle of a ring, dark arena with a spotlight on him, and they sang his theme song like whoa, whoa, whoa for 12 minutes. And you've got a guy like that, and you don't even give him an opportunity to wrestle. Like, to me,
maybe. So you said he said something on TV. Maybe that's the start of this becoming a thing, so they can build it up.
No, because they gave him his own title. They gave Seth Rollins his own title. Yeah, I mean, no, the end of Roman Reigns' story and the bloodline. I mean, they did it on SmackDown tonight. Jimmy and Jay, kissy, blah blah blah, whatever. And I think the bloodline thing's coming to an end. I don't know where Roman's going to go from here, but I think Roman's story is going to end with Cody Rhodes. It's going to end with Cody Rhodes.
Kind of better.
Yeah, I mean, Cody's dad, Dusty.
I'm not going to lie. I used to hate Cody Rhodes back in the day.
Back when he was with Randy Orton.
Oh, my God, yes.
Yeah.
I liked Randy Orton to an extent. It depended on who he was fighting, if I liked Randy Orton. But I just used to hate Cody Rhodes so goddamn much for some reason. I don't know why. I love Goldust. Like, don't get me wrong. I fucking have always loved Goldust. He's so weird. Like, he always hit a mark.
He was something else.
He was a good
He always
character.
hit a mark for me. Anytime he came out, it was like, all right, everybody shut the fuck up and pay attention. Something's about to happen.
Yeah. He was always a good character.
Yes.
Always a good character.
But now I used to find Cody pretty like attention demanding.
He came off whiny.
It came off, demanding. Whiny.
From the little bit I saw of him when I was getting out of wrestling, I would agree with that.
Whiny.
But now I'm like, all right, we done beat him up enough. We done put him through the ringer. He's actually deserving, and he's not whiny.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah, he some switch went off or something when he left. But I mean, so Roman's story has to end with Cody. It just has to. So Dusty, Cody's dad's Dusty Rhodes, and Dusty won the WWF title in 1975 by countout. He won the match against Superstar Billy Graham by countout and raised the title, but the title doesn't change hands.
Yeah.
So there's this picture of Dusty, that Cody keeps at his house. It's Dusty holding the title. And it's the only picture of Dusty ever holding a WWF title. And, so that is where Cody's story has to go. Yeah. He has to hold the title. I mean, he has to
hold more than one title.
He can't get.
I don't think
he can't get the world heavyweight title because his dad was the world heavyweight champion. He's got to get the WWF title. He's got to get it, and he's got to get it from Roman. He's got to be the one that finally stops Roman Reigns. Hey. But the thing is I think
the tag team title. Stardust and Gold Dust.
I think you've gotta-
see that shit.
I think you got to wait until WrestleMania 40 for that. But the problem is that means you got like, how are you going to sustain Roman for another
you already
7
said
months?
You already said it yourself. He constantly takes breaks.
Right,
So just give him
right.
So like,
Cyborg
give him
gimmick.
a 3-month
Yeah.
break. Let him show up for a month.
Well,
give him another 3
they're
month
already
break.
saying that he's not going to wrestle at the next pay-per-view. Like the main event's going to end up being Jimmy and Jay. And who knows? I mean, people are doing early predictions, but he probably won't wrestle at the
Does
next.
he do anything in his
pay-per-views.
off time? He's not a movie star.
No, he's not
Some
really a
of them.
movie star. He tried to be,
Did he?
but
What movie?
yeah,
did
he was
do?
in what's that? Fast and the Furious
Hold on, I've seen.
offshoot.
Oh, Hobbs and
Offshoot.
Shaw.
Hobbs and Shaw. He was
That's the
in
one.
Okay.
where they all went to the island of Samoa.
Yeah.
and did
So-
I
So
hey, the best.
we're gonna
best
go on a side.
crossover is what fucking longest yard with what?
Oh, I
what's his
love the
name?
longest
What's his
yard.
name? Fucking tall. I can't think of his name. The tall Hindu like Nate.
Oh,
Great Khali.
yeah, the Great Khali.
Yeah, the Great Khali.
I love the longest yard.
Yeah, best wrestling actor crossover. Aside from, of course, the Great Batista.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I
Batista's
used to-
definitely.
He was my most hated fucking
he's
wrestler
definitely-
for a long time.
he's
I
definitely
enjoyed
the
Batista.
actor, I'd say. I mean, The Rock makes the most money, but I think
Well,
I'd say
Batista's the
Batista-
best rock.
when
Best actor.
I say
Yeah.
I hate a wrestler, sometimes that is actually a compliment because I hated Batista so much because of how good he did his job. Like,
Right,
he did
right.
fucking
That makes
fantastic.
sense. I see what you're saying.
I hate Chris Jericho because he's a piece of shit, and that's it.
Yeah.
Hey, me and Dad enjoyed what is his band name?
Yeah, we were
Fozzy?
talking about that
Fozzy.
earlier.
We enjoyed Fozzy.
WCW days. Chris Jericho is the only Jericho I know. Yeah. He's
Y2J.
fucking- Oh my god.
Y2J.
Nah, man. I'm glad to see he actually did pretty well over the fucking years. But
Yeah.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
he's done pretty well.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know. We saw
Star-
Fozzy the 1 or 2 times, and I just don't know anything of his story
Yeah,
after that.
Yeah, Fozzie's not too bad. He does his own like little cruise now, and he's in AEW, and I mean he's got his own thing going on. But as far as the Al Snow thing, I thought yeah,
That's great.
I think next time we bring a wrestler in, it'll be a signing, a meet and greet, and like
And then
a
there'll be a
Q&A.
mat outside, right?
I think a Q&A would be
A
good.
Q&A. What? Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna get a ring outside,
Yeah.
right?
I think
Let's not punish them with, like we do now.
I think it'll
What did you punish Al with? Hold on.
well the 4-hour pay-per-view.
Oh, okay. I see.
I
what
think
you're
we'll
saying.
do like a 2-hour meet and greet and like maybe an hour or 2 Q&A. Probably only
And-
an hour.
So
I
I'm
think
not
2
asking
hour might
obviously for specifics, but I remember you basically sold out of all your viewing party. How many people, like, were there additional people that bought signing photos, or was it just the 32 for the viewing party
So-
that came for everything?
So I had the 32 for the viewing party, and then I probably had 10 more people come in, maybe 10. It was probably about 10.
I mean, that's
12.
honestly really good. That's a better expectation than I thought.
Yeah, 10,
For
10
a
to
first event,
10 to 12 come in and buy the autograph photo combo. Al was really relaxed. So, a lot of people, he was signing stuff and taking pictures for people. Like, Frank from the Lantern came down and he made sure he took pictures with all the boss, me and
I was gonna say I saw Matt's picture and
Yeah.
the ones you guys uploaded.
I was glad Jason took a second picture of mine because my first one I had my eyes all half-assed, stoner closed, looking pretty dumb. But
Yeah, there was a kid that had that said that Jason sent him 2 pictures and one of them was really good and the other one looked terrible. So it was a good thing that he had to take 2.
It's me too. I feel
So I bought a tag team title. I had him sign it.
Okay, I was
So,
curious if he signed it or
he
not.
signed the title. He signed a mannequin head. I'll hang the title probably up above the
Walkway, like you said.
walkway. Yeah. I'll buy something to hang it. But you know, my goal at this point is to get Mick Foley to sign it, that because they were tag team champions. So hopefully I get a chance to meet Mick again.
I know you said you wanted to get Mick in here.
Yeah, you know, that's a dream. That's a dream for sure.
You say dream, I call it a future. It'll happen.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah,
But
all kinds of people slumming through these neighborhoods.
These neighborhoods.
It's a town of less than 20,000, and we can get a professional wrestler here to come and hang out.
yeah.
I think we'll be all right.
Holy shit, we went down by that much.
Yeah, it's like
Because when I was
18,000.
I was gonna say when I was a senior in high school, my granted it was before I dropped out, but my government teacher, I think it was, pulled up our population. It was like right at like 30,000, 29, something like that. Have we really dropped that much?
I think a lot of the new
was like 50.
I think the new housing additions are all in the county.
Oh,
So
not
I think
in the
that does a
town.
lot. I think that helped. I think that hurts the count.
Yeah,
But-
I think you're right.
Yeah. I think
It's
so.
all right.
I say that like I live in the town.
Yeah.
Lexington Village is
Yeah.
on its way. I was just make a plug for utility supply.
So yeah. So they but yeah, all in all, I thought it went good.
Yeah, I had a great time. I mean, there's never any other place I was gonna find myself in that kind of opportunity.
I was gonna say I've not seen anywhere do anything like that before.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think
Al
anything.
even said it was the first time. He says, I've seen a lot of things. You're not going to show me anything that I haven't seen. He goes, I haven't done anything like this. He said, so let's just play it by ear. I was fine with that. So
Yeah, he did great. He was an exceptional guest. Like he was very hospitable. Aside anyone demanding, he wasn't rude.
right.
Great guy to have involved in anything you'd want to have involved in. To
yeah,
be
I think
honest,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Wish we had a fucking place for him to wrestle.
Yeah.
Take on the entire town.
Yeah.
Take on the town.
We'll pit our
Yeah.
tongues
Yeah.
against you.
Yeah. Him against Colmar.
Oh, man.
Yeah, okay.
Jesus. Where are we at with time?
52.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Not bad.
All right.
I was gonna
Got
say
8 minutes.
we could do an Ahsoka section if we wanted, or we could save that for
Maybe
another
give a
time.
preview. I don't know. Do we want to wait?
I think
keep
we-
that a couple weeks
I
out.
think we
got 2 weeks out before it actually.
I was gonna say the
drops.
23rd, the first 2 episodes drop.
Yeah. We'll wait till then. What's next week?
I don't think anything drops next week.
Roll some dice.
Yeah.
Roll some dice. Talk about some D&D stuff.
Yeah, we can
We
come
got
in here.
Baldur's Gate 3 we could talk about.
I don't know anything about
anything
that.
about.
I don't know.
I was just
anything
saying, I
about
know you
that.
don't know anything about video games.
I don't
I
know
do.
anything
I know that it's made. I'm bad with the company names. I know it's made by a different company than the other 2 Baldur's Gates, and that company made 2 games, and I don't know their names, but Baldur's Gates 3 is supposed to play like that. And if, to my understanding, it's supposed to be a 5e combat that is turn-based. So 5e from Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
And then it's supposed to be a turn-based combat. That is, other than that, I know jack diddly and shit. Besides, my old roommate played I think it was the second Baldur's Gate and enjoyed the hell out of it. But like I said, that was a different studio that made that.
Yeah, and that's it. I haven't played any myself. I've only kind of heard from other people that it's great. But I can't really think of anything else that's prevalent coming up this week.
Yeah, I don't think so. So
Maybe there'll be something new.
yeah,
Sign next Friday.
yeah.
All
All right.
figure that out.
We want to wrap this one up.
Yeah, we can.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to Pints and Pages. I'm Nick,
I'm Brad.
I'm Levi.
and we'll see you next time for episode 2.